So video and audio transcripts. So making sure that you have transcripts for your videos. These are different from captions. And if you do have a transcript for your video, meaning all of the words that are said in that video in text form and with time coding, that actually makes you more searchable on Google. Because now everything that is in that video is now part of your Google search. If you want to include folks who are deaf and blind, include some descriptions of what's happening in your transcript as well. But also for podcasts, right? So we have an NPR audio clip. Here's a screenshot of an NPR audio clip with the transcript for that audio clip. And sometimes folks, can't listen to a video or a podcast because they're at work. Or they're just in a library or somewhere where they don't have access to, let's say, headphones. So having that content available in text form is very useful for a lot of reasons. But mainly it does include folks who are deaf or deaf and blind. Okay, so making your videos accessible. Making sure that you have accessible video players or player controls. So two good examples are YouTube and Vimeo. So if you're using those platforms and you embed a YouTube player or a Vimeo player into your website, those are going to be accessible. And what makes your controls accessible? They need to have text labels such as play, pause, rewind, right? Volume slider, closed captions, right? All of those things. They could have visual like aesthetics, but as long as there's something underneath, the hood that has a text label that says these things for screen readers, you're good. Keyboard access, making sure that your controls could be accessed by pressing tab and not just the mouse. Support for captions, right? And support for audio description whenever possible. And an important thing is, once your video starts playing, it's a very bad idea to have the controls disappear, because if the controls disappear, the only way to get the controls to come back up, such as play and pause and stop, is by clicking on the video. So right away, everyone that's using a keyboard, so folks who have physical disabilities or folks who are blind, the only way for them to stop the video on your website will have to be by just closing the tab. And you don't want people to leave your website like that, right? So you want to make sure that your videos themselves, so that content to be accessible, that it has captions, that it has audio descriptions and transcripts. Whenever whenever possible. I know this sounds like a lot of extra work to do, but start with just one, right? Start by ensuring that you have captions, or start by working on audio descriptions. And I'm going to explain what those are in the next slide. Oh, I guess not. But basically, just quickly, captions are, well, we all know what closed captions are, right? We probably use them. They are the written words, right, that appear at the bottom of the screen to note what people are saying, for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. Audio description is what I like to describe as the audiobook version of your video. So there is actually a voice narrator that will read aloud, not read aloud, but say aloud what is happening. So it will read the credits, the title, it'll introduce characters, it'll explain what's happening visually. And this has actually become very popular. It's available on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus. All of those actually now have audio description. So, if you're interested, check out some Netflix original shows with audio description, just as an example. It's just it's a different experience, right? Because there's like a narrator there, so it feels like you're kind of in an immersive audiobook. So that's the content we're covering for you guys today.